Get ready to dive into a world where empires stand on the brink of war and terrible monsters tear at the fragile borderlands of men. The Adventurer Conqueror King System Imperial Imprint, or as we like to call it, Acts 2, is now live on Kickstarter. Acts 2 is the new edition of the acclaimed best-selling fantasy role-playing game. You'll find everything you need to enjoy epic fantasy campaigns with a sweeping scope. Whether you want to crawl through dungeons, experiment with alchemy, crossbreed monsters, run a merchant emporium, raise an undead legion, or even conquer an empire, Acts 2 supports your playstyle. Acts 2 integrates experience point mechanics, making campaign activities a seamless part of the core gameplay loop. Your character levels up in new and exciting ways each time you play, adding massive replayability to each of your adventures. Acts 2 offers 18 character classes, 378 spells, new combat mechanics, and so much more. Support Acts 2 on Kickstarter today.
Somewhere in between, round the table with your friends, playing Dungeons and Dragons. And if life ever knocks you down, your dice will surely turn around. Roll your stats, it's time to quest. Let's put your characters to the test.
Hello and welcome to Knocked Prone, a podcast of high crits, small fits, and varying wits. My name is Cade, and I am the host and dungeon master of this Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition adventure. And I am joined here by the players to my left.
Mason playing Litsea.
Brooklyn playing Litsea.
Danny playing Tess.
Caden playing Blink.
All right, so as last we left our adventurers, the party split pretty much in 4 ways. Blink was busy being he who flicketh, the god of the gnolls, while Litsea was trying to not be awkward while standing in a group of gnolls. Tess and Lakir got some sweet massages and met the king of the gnolls. And then they quickly walked away after they found out that he was blind to go scout for Litsea and Blink. And then Blink and Litsea came into the tent with the king and talked. And he did this he told them all the information that they needed to know. And now they're going on their merry way, probably to go pick up some kids that Blink tied up to save.
This has reminded me too. Our first instance with these kids, we broke one of their legs with our dire wolf friend. And then the second instance, we tie them up when they're just like already kidnapped by gnolls.
Yeah, the Rangers are not very keen on the gray aura at the moment. But with that, that's where we left off. Let's get started. So you guys were, I think, just about to go pick up those ranger kids.
That was where Caden was trying to. He was trying to get. It sounded like he was trying to get the kids on the way, following my trail.
As we were leaving, I don't know which direction the trail leads as compared to the direction that the tied up kids are at. So you tell me, like, kind of what general direction are we heading if we do follow these good berries?
So the good berries are leading towards north, towards Great Grumbopolis, but as you're outside, Tess was able to kind of like take like a back route of the fort, a little staircase down, and that's where I assume that you would be waiting next to the rock that you guys started at, right? So
yeah. Okay.
And then the kids are southwest of the fort, but you could circle around and get them.
Okay, so that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to, tell, like, maybe even before we catch back up with these guys fully, I'm just going to tell Litsea, I'm going to go get the kids and bring them up to us so we can kind of investigate more as to what's going on with them because they seem off. And I'm also let her know they're tied up and kind of stashed on the side of the dirt road leading to the fountain. So I'm gonna go get them.
Okay, so you're going without me?
Yes, assuming you're wanting to
try to meet up with everyone.
Yeah, or you can come
I'm
with
good
me.
with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find the rest of the gang.
Dope.
Yeah. So you guys go and do that?
Yep, we split again.
All right. And so you said you were going to get the kids?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So you get the kids. It's been about 45 minutes on your disguised self. So you mentally, with your sundial watch that you obviously have, are able to tell that your spell is almost up.
Okay.
And but you can get to the kids.
Sweet. So yeah, like knowing that my time is running out on my disguised self spell, I'm just booking it to the kids and back. So when I show up there, they're still there.
Yep.
They're still tied up.
Still there. They
Okay.
have dice out. They're rolling and
Oh, yep.
playing some cool game probably.
Awesome. Sweet. So I'm gonna stand them all up and grab onto the rope and start leading them back to the Goodberry path that I found, and then following it back to everyone else.
Okay. Yeah. One kid leaves his D4, but yeah. And then Litsea, you said you were going back to the group.
Yep.
Okay. So you meet back up with your dad and Lakir and Tess. And Tess, you find your panda.
All right, I gotta check, make sure my panda's okay. Is he too dehydrated?
He seems a little dehydrated. There's not a lot of water around.
Water.
Create water. Okay, yeah.
I dig out like a little container, put some water in,
Okay, yeah. So the roll me a nature check.
and I'm proficient. So that's a 6.
Nice. Not all of the water sifts down into the sand. There's a little mud puddle at the bottom that the panda can drink out of. It's fine. And he seems quenched, and he lays back down onto his side and shivers, but because it's cold.
Yeah, indeed. I was a little worried it would freeze before I was able to do it. But yeah, so, I'll hang out. I'll give my panda a good scratching while I'm waiting. Very excited when I see everybody actually coming. I'm like, oh my god, we actually made it out.
So Tess and Lakir are here, and I'm arriving to see both, and my dad,
Yes.
and the panda,
And the healbot.
and the healbot.
You have quite the party.
Yes. Love it. So I come barreling in as fast as I can, and I'm like, I have so much information I have to share with you. I don't even know what to do, but
What? Hold on. We need to get a little bit further away before we just start conversing. These
You're right.
things can hear.
you're right. But Blink is still gathering the Rangers, so he should just be a few minutes behind me. So maybe once he gets here, then we can all discuss as a group. Is that all right?
Yes, of course.
Oh, so he's bringing the kids.
Oh, yes. He got them separated from the rest of the gnolls and tied them up, and now he's hopefully corralling them in our direction. So,
Here
probably.
we'll kind of have a far look and just say, "Oh, to have the power of a god."
One day, kids. And Litsy's father puts his hands on his head. But let's go back to Blink. Roll me an animal handling check.
Okay.
There's no other check that is good for corralling children.
15.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So the kids follow your command. Their hands are tied up to their sides, but they're all flicking as a sign of respect at the ground. But they follow exactly where you want to go, and I assume that is back to where the group is meeting at the rock.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys see this gnoll as he's approaching. It is Blink and his disguised self, and you see the group of children who are gagged and tied up.
Were they resistant?
No.
They were kind of a little, they seem a little off to me.
All right. Well, perhaps that can be something we discuss as well. I think we should at least get out of sight from the fort before we start communicating.
We could head back to that forest. It seemed like it would provide cover and a little bit of...
Yes, let's actually backtrack a little bit. That will be, I think, a good place to go.
Yeah, and as you guys are having this conversation, the casting time on Blink and Litsy's Knoll forms dissipates for a sec. Or it dissipates and then one of
I
the
readied the spell Entangle just in case they look like they're gonna run.
well, one of the kids looks up at Blink and says,
I want to kneel down, or I guess they're standing up. I want to get close to one of them, and like look them in the eye. Do they appear to be relieved? Do they appear to be shocked? Do they appear to be like? Do they seem to recognize me? Do they like? What sort of reaction do I get from them seeing a non-null entity?
they look at you. Their pupils are giant, and the coloration, the irises of their eyes are dark purple, the same color as the goop.
I think that they've been infected or something. I don't think they're completely themselves.
Well, you remember how we got the goop out of those rats?
And then the kids are all looking at you guys and going,
How about we let them speak? Maybe they can give us more information than we can glean just from guessing.
Some distance first.
Yeah.
Have we not made it away yet?
no.
Oh, we're still just walking
I mean,
along?
you guys are walking and talking, I guess, at this point, in hushed
Are they
tones.
willingly walking with us?
Yeah. They're all their eyes are pretty much fixed on Blink as they're walking. Make me a perception check, Tess, as you are looking at these kids.
21.
They're big. They're tall. They're like
Substantially
taller than when they're 12-year-olds still. And you really didn't notice before, but as you're walking outside of this, outside of the fort, you're kind of seeing like, oh, these guys are like a head taller than me, at least.
Okay, I want to... The one that keeps trying to talk,
Yeah.
I want to touch him on the shoulder, and I'm going to cast Lesser Restoration.
He flinches like crazy, like, he reflects. But, what does Lesser Restoration do?
Okay, so you can touch a creature and end either one disease or one condition afflicting it. The condition can be blinded, deaf, and paralyzed or poisoned, but I'm kind of more going for the disease thing in case that pertains to why they're changing. Maybe the goop is kind of more of a disease. So I'm just testing it out.
Yeah, so as you cast lesser restoration on this kid, a glass full of purple fluid comes flying out of his mouth, like he vomits this purple fluid, and for a second blinks and looks at you, Blink, and says, "What has happened?" Wait, did you take off his gag?
I didn't actually, but I will now. Seeing him like about to puke, I'm gonna take his gag off.
Yeah.
So
And then he pukes, and he says, and he looks at you and he says, "What has happened?" Looks down at you.
okay. I also need to roll on the wild magic table.
You do need to roll on the wild magic table. Roll me a d20 first, though,
Oh, okay.
because your luck has run short.
17.
Ooh, your luck continues. Roll me your 2 d10s.
Okay.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir. 28.
You gain the ability, like, you feel really full, but then the rest of you standing around him immediately so hungry. Like haven't felt like you've eaten days.
Do you have any of the good berries left?
I left them all in the trail.
I have them. I like immediately pop one into my mouth.
I take one from her grasp and
I
also
was
do the
gonna
same.
say for a moment, like I don't even give one to anybody.
I hear that smoked panda meat is good this time of year.
My good berries are pretty good too.
Do you eat one as well, Tess?
Yeah, if I can.
Okay. Blink, roll me 3 Constitution saving throws.
Oh, no. Okay.
Oh my God, is yes. I'm so hungry. He just
Oh no. 7, 19, 18.
You, with the 7, you immediately vomit.
Okay.
Just lots of food that you've not eaten.
awesome.
And the 3 of you are immediately hungry again. You couldn't taste the good berries at all as you ate them, but with that, that is the end of your wild magic thing.
Okay. And I go up immediately as I feel myself start to puke. I run up to Tessa and baby bird feed him. Just kidding. I don't do that.
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
baby
joking.
bird feed him, and then you taste it going down.
Taste what I have tasted.
Well, he can't taste it. You
He just
taste
has to have
it.
the knowledge that he's swallowing puke.
You
But you're
exit
one
the
that tastes
matrix
it.
yeah.
at that point.
But if this wild magic thing is going and he's eating food and I'm getting fuller, if I continuously puke into his mouth, does it continuously go back into my stomach?
yeah,
Just a never-ending
never
Create a
puke
paradox.
flow?
and disappear.
A black
Yeah.
hole.
I can only imagine that like me and Lakir are like standing in a distance, looking at each other like,
They make
oh,
a vomit
my
machine.
Oh man.
disgusting.
Okay, anyway. Oh my gosh. The kid looks at you and is like, what has happened?
I say, well, I think you, ingested this purple goop substance. And as you can see, it has, changed you.
Oh,
Is the goop on the ground?
Huh?
Can I get a vial of it?
of course. It's kind of mixed in with Blink's vomit at this point, but go for it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And then, the kid looks at you and he's like, well, I remember the night that the Rangers got attacked and there was I don't know why the Gnolls decided to take us. They kept talking about the ascension. And as he says the ascension, his eyes go wide again and the purple rings appear again around his eyes. And then he goes, the ascension. And he looks straight at you, Blink.
I'm gonna say, no, do not ascension. Don't do that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm out of lesser restoration
Yeah.
too. So.
Seeing that, like, he seems to have reverted back, I'll kind of hold up the vial and say, well, at the very least, we can at least study the substance, and we seem to have an infinite supply. And I'll kind of tuck it back away and...
Cool.
The kid that you were talking to said "Zah," and points back to the Gnoll camp, like gestures with his head, I guess, since he's tied up.
I'm gonna say, no more no camp. You are mine now.
So, are we far enough away to begin discussing what just went down?
I believe so.
I hate to bring it up like this, but I feel entirely in the dark here, kids.
Yes, we would love to bring you up to speed, Father. I'm not even sure where to begin.
Entirely in the dark here, kids.
That's because there's no sunlight.
Ah, Blink. He taps you on the shoulder.
That's firebolt.
Yeah.
Tempting.
Oh, well, sorry, what were you saying?
Well, the King of the Gnolls did tell me and Blink a very interesting story about Great Grumbopolis and a man that he's been collaborating with. Blink and I aren't entirely sure who he is. He also was very unhelpful as far as remembering a lot of details about this man. We know he wears a blue cloak. We know his name starts with an A.
Yeah, kiddo, he sounds like he didn't know what he was talking about. Let's just keep walking.
It's at least worth looking into, Blink.
Insight check.
Roll it. Yeah, roll with advantage.
Bonuses anyway? Okay, it's 0, so
Great.
4.
He just didn't really. It seemed like there was something better to talk about.
Well, you say you don't know who this man is, but it seems pretty obvious. My father. Blue cloak, name starts with an A. Evil man. All lines up.
Kids, I really don't think it's worth dwelling on. Ah, man. Tess, do you have any more of those good berries? Those things are delicious.
What is your
I'm really hungry.
Dad,
Are you guys hungry?
Dad.
What is your father's name, look here?
Amalek.
Ah, quite the name. Sounds like grapes. Good berries. Tess, do we have any more good berries?
What is going on with you?
I cast Hold Person.
Ooh, what save does he make?
Wisdom.
That's a 3.
I'll go and say, Litsea, I hate to tell you this, but your father's a spy. He's working with my father, and he's trying to deflect this.
Is he paralyzed to the point that he can't speak?
Mm-hmm. I would imagine that level of paralysis would be in my control.
Yeah.
I could lessen or
Yeah.
do it. So at this point, I would not allow him to.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. At this point, I would think that that's possible. Considering that at this point we know that there is a mole in Great Grombopolis. Likely your father. I wasn't going to say anything, so I'm glad you caught on. And I'm not really sure what's going on with my father, but I definitely think it's important that we keep him contained.
Blink. Tie him up, please.
That's precisely what I was going to do. I'm going to put him with the others. How much rope do I have
As he's
left?
tying them up, I also want to remove any items from his person, such as anything that seems... Actually, I'll burn a spell and cast Detect Magic. Anything magical, of course, I will remove. Anything that seems like it could be used in a way to escape or against us, I will also remove.
Okay. Add this cool weapon to your inventory called the boomerang.
Okay.
Boom is capitalized, though.
While they're doing that, I carefully cover the group in dirt to protect my panda.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go over to the kids and just try to just do a lot of simple interactions and see how they respond. Like if I go to shake one's hand, just see if he'll shake it or if he just doesn't understand it anymore.
They're all tied up right now.
I guess that's
but
fair.
They, you extend a hand and they kind of gesture like they would have.
Okay. And they don't seem hostile. If I get really close, they're not gonna.
No. One of them goes as they're looking at you, gagged.
And I say
No ascension. No ascension.
Get out your squirt bottle. No,
Yeah,
no.
spray 'em.
It's a lesser restoration squirt bottle.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I am out of the spell slots needed to cast Lesser Restoration again. So, if we're going to fix these guys, we either need to take a long rest, which I still wouldn't be able to heal all of them, as well as, I don't know, maybe it'd be a good idea to try to find somebody who...
Well, and it also only seemed like a small temporary
Yeah, I didn't really
thing.
fix them all the way. Yeah.
So it may
Seems
not
like you might
be...
need something greater than
A greater
lesser
restoration.
restoration.
Oh no.
Which is a level 5 spell, which we are approximately 5 levels away from getting. So, as he is being tied up, and as I'm patting him down for stuff, I'm just gonna be so what was it? You decided you left with us, and then you messaged my father, got him to close everything out, and hoped that we would die out here. Is that it?
Gets his mouth free again, and he adjusts it for a second, stretches his mouth, and then he's like, everything I did was to protect you kids.
So, you admit to doing something, to knowing about this.
Oh, I know more than you would care to know.
Well, I think it would be in your best interest to divulge, and I'll kind of make my hand inflame.
Litsea, cover your ears.
Dad, are you serious?
Litsea, By chance, did you ever get a chance to read that book of your father's? I think I kind of warned you, but he's a little bit more of a snake than you may have realized.
No, I never read the book.
May be of interest to you. Interesting. We have a lot of your secrets, and we get to divulge them to your daughter. All we want. So you can either start speaking to us, or... who knows? The choice is up to her, but you may lose her forever.
Litsea, I did this to protect you. I've always done this to protect you. Well, how far do I go back? I guess I was born and I was raised by historian parents like yours. I was raised, they were quite high up on the ladder. Your father and me were friends, look here, when we grew up. But then the day of the placement, I tried with all my might to be placed into the historians, and I knew so much about the historians then, but my light, no matter how hard I tried, shone green. And well, I think that was when your father and I's relationship, well, died. Look here, and I'm getting ahead of myself. I met a cleric woman, and I fell in love with her. And Bon, I miss you. Litsea, your mom, Bonnie, we met.
Don't interact with her.
Oh.
You're speaking to me.
Sorry. Litsea, when you were young, you know how your mom. Look here. When Litsea was young, her mom, she didn't run away. She didn't get lost. She died. Litsea was 9 at the time, and Litsea was there for her mom's death. Some eldritch woman came and killed her and came to attack your mom, or Litsea's mom. And, Litsea's mom told Litsea to hide to protect her. And, Litsea's mom lost. And, and I wasn't there to protect her. I wasn't there to protect Litsea. I just wasn't there. And, Bonnie was my everything. She was my wife. I loved her so dearly, and so when Litsea returned home with the terrible news, I did what any terrible father would do, and I was cross with Litsea, and it was right then that I said some things that I couldn't take back. I told Litsea that she was the cause of her mom's death. That she could have prevented it had she had been stronger.
No. He must be lying. My whole life you've told me that she just disappeared, ran away, she was kidnapped. We have absolutely no reason to believe you. I don't know what you're trying to manipulate. I don't know what you're trying to say here, but you're not telling the truth.
You know those books that you kids have in your bag? That's your life. Open my book.
Oh, okay, let's see, because I gave it to her.
I'll reach into my bag and I will hand Lakir my dad's book.
Any page in particular you'd like me to flip to?
Flip through them all. You're not going to see anything.
Okay, I'll open it up and it's just blank.
It's just every single page completely blank. And he looks at you and he says, they knew that this day was going to come. They've been planning. These books can mess with your life. They mess with your memory. And, I grew up as a historian knowing about the secret society that, well, messed with people's memories and tore out pages for people to forget. And Litsea, you ran away that day. Litsea ran away that day when she was 9, and I never thought I'd see her again. I don't know where she went. And so I took her book from the historian's bookshelf, and I gave it to your father, Amalek. And I said, I know that we're not friends anymore, but I need my daughter back. And please make her forget. I'll do anything that you ask. I'll forego my servitude to the artificers and come back to the historians if that's even possible, but I need my daughter back. And so Amalek took Litsea's memory. If you turn to page 73 of Litsea's book, it's not there. They've taken it. They've taken that memory and they stored it away. And, well, that's what I needed. The memory of Litsea's mom being gone, me being mad at Litsea for something that wasn't her fault. And, well, Amalek asked me to do something that I couldn't refuse. I had nothing left without Litsea, and so he asked me to do something that I thought was really strange, to burn down the cleric's church.
There it is.
There it is. And well, I couldn't say no. So I did it. I burned down the church, and well, since then, he has held that page against my will. I do anything that Amalek asks, because if I don't, Litsea remembers. And the day that Litsea remembers, I feared would be the day that she would no longer want me as her father.
Well, I don't know how Litsea feels about all of this, but at this point, there's no point concealing it from her anymore. You have little reason to follow Amalek, as she already knows, and I think it should be up to her to decide her emotions and her feelings, instead of you and my father manipulating the people of Great Grumbopolis to feel the way that you want to feel.
I understand. And I hope you realize that I didn't have a choice in any of this. And this isn't the first time that I have tried to stand up to Amalek. If you flip through Litsea's book some more, you'll see some more pages that are torn. Times that I tried to resist. Times that Litsea found out that I was hiding these things from her, and times that I had to redo again. But what you don't realize, the four of you are special. There's a reason Amalek doesn't want you around, and it's not just because of some prophecy about his children, Litsea. It's because, well, the aura placer takes a part of your DNA, and the historians write down that part of your DNA and are able to put those parts into your books, and they control memories. Everyone's memory in Grumbopolis is, at the flick of a switch, different, and they can rewrite history the way they want it to be. And for whatever reason, probably because there's not been a new aura established since the beginning of Grumbopolis' beginning, well, your DNA was never encoded into your books. They can't rewrite what you do. They can only, well, they can take away, and they can take away from others knowing about you, which they did to you, Litsea. You were on the shelf, the one that people forget. And I was on the shelf that people forget. And They erased my book. I am slowly losing who I am. I don't know how long I can do this. And, well, I need to have Litsea in my life.
I think that's her decision, not yours. Litsea, I cannot pass judgment on your father, as, number one, I think that should be your right. Personally, I don't think he's a great man, but he is definitely a manipulator. And he is definitely someone who would go to any lengths to keep the control he has over you.
We definitely need to keep him restrained while we are navigating this new information. I still don't know if I believe you. And I'm well aware that I have my book with me, but I choose not to take it out. But I think for now we have a load of information, clearly a lot to work off of, and I think we need to focus at the task at hand, which is to help these rangers.
Okay, so we have a lot of information now, and so we have a pseudo hostage, friends that are under the control of things, so also somewhat hostage, and nowhere to really go. What is our next step?
So I had one question for Harold. So I'm gonna pull my sombrero off of my back and put it on my head. I'm gonna say, have you ever seen this hat before?
Where'd you get that hat?
It was in the library.
Oh, I've seen that hat. Blink. That's our way back in. There's no way that they've sealed off the historian's exit.
I was thinking that myself, actually. The only difficult part is getting back up. I know of some theories of spells, but the only thing I've mastered so far is simple levitation. In order to get something that high up and to climb that far up, we're going to need something a little more powerful.
In the very least, clearly we need to head back towards Great Grumbopolis, and that's a journey a little bit back, so we'll have plenty of time to make a plan.
I think the exact opposite, actually. Your father here, while manipulative and as innocent as he has claimed to be, has magical means of communication, or so I would imagine. At the very least, he has the potential to have it. The closer we are to Great Grumbopolis, the closer we are to my father. The closer we are to retaliation, the closer we are to striking distance for my father to take out the threats he sees before him.
If I might get a word in, your Great Grumbopolis is not going to be the same. Your father has a horrible plan to corrupt the entire city, to overthrow Oleander. I don't have any way of communicating. You can search through my stuff. I don't know any cool spells. The last time I spoke with Amalek, he asked me whether you were leaving the city, and I said that you had already left. And when I left the city again, and for the 3 months that I couldn't find you, and I thought that I had lost you, he looks at you, Litsea, as he says that, I tried to get back into Grumbopolis, and he sealed me out too. I've been alone.
I can't say I feel bad for you.
I have a way of communication. If we find a small animal or bird, I can have it deliver a message for us. The question is, who should we send it to?
Tim.
I think rather my biggest concern was that word does not get back to the city. If my father is unaware that we are down here with his plans in mind, working against him, it's better for us. He doesn't send resistance. He doesn't send people to stop us.
You're right. I mean, nobody knows what we know so far.
If we wait and we build up what we have, we can strike and stop him. I don't know precisely what he's doing up there or if we're on a time frame, but I know that we are not strong enough to fight him now.
Okay, yes. I was just thinking long term how we might be able to get back in the city, which we don't need to do now. I think we've essentially two options. We could either attempt to climb the rainbow all the way up and then go past the walls, or we could convince someone to lower a rope from the pool.
Talking. And I'm sure if we relay some of the information, the surviving rangers may help as well.
We have all of the hats.
So while these guys are talking about this, like during this discussion, I want to pull out my book because I kept it, and I'm going to just like quickly flip through all the pages and see if I can find any ripped out pages.
There are rips.
There are rips? How many do you see? Or how many do I see? Just multiple. There's a bunch.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Between, I'd say about 15 pages have been ripped. You guys are now have a way to get back inside of Great Grumbopolis if you choose to do so. But with that, I think that's where we're going to end our session for tonight. My name is Cade, and I'm the host and dungeon master of this Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure, and I am joined here by the players to my left.
Mason playing Litsea.
Brooklyn playing Litsea.
Danny playing Tess.
Caden playing Blink.
Awesome. And we hope that you remember that when life knocks you flat on your back, all you got to do is keep rolling, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.